Good, you're doing good out there. You know that?
I appreciate that.
Okay.
I
Any
wanted
questions, comments, concerns? Just, kind of overwatch on this whole thing. Noticing that.
I wanted to speak to you or Moss about funny enough, a Mace Bank the other day. There was probably about 8 of us on scene, and the 78's call was made, and then everyone left but me, and it was just for an officer being knocked out.
Holy fuck.
And in those situations, I don't know whether to say, does everyone need to go there? Because we was VCB on everything within like a minute.
Do you
I let them go.
Lost people get excited when they see a 78's because they're more interested in
100%.
Okay.
He already knows what you're gonna say. Yeah, I think it depends, right? So well, I don't know the context of the situation, but every scene should be analyzed and figured. Like right now, we have all these officers on scene. We could probably start cutting people loose from the scene after it's done, and people could go out and start doing other work now. Is that kind of like what you're referring to?
It's kind of like the 78's call was made, and then it was like, because it's a 78's call, everyone left the scene but me because I had secured the hostage.
No.
That's what I do on my. And then like it was just for someone being knocked out. No one came back to Maze Bank, and we was VCB on Maze Bank because I let them go. It was bad timing, but yeah, it's just, that's kind of my only concern. I don't think we should. There was like no call for shots fired, but everyone left.
Yeah, one officer was knocked out. It's hard. So every one of those is situational. I think it's kind of like one of those things where you got to analyze it. You got to talk with.
Who called the 78's?
I can't remember now. I think Reviews got knocked out. That's all I can remember. Is whoever she was with, I think, called it. But yeah, it's like
the other thing is I need to actually command needs to take a look at.
I wasn't expecting this guy. Is it bad that I wasn't expecting this guy to be so articulate? I've been calling this poor guy Voldemort for 3 months now.
And
this is the first time I've actually spoken.
It's hard because we're trained as 78's. Everybody fucking break off, go collapse on that one call. But at the same time,
oh man, oh no, bro, fuck.
Shit when there's kind of other things. I don't. That's a tough one. You know what I mean?
I think if 78 shot fired, that should be everyone break off. But there was just like 78's and nothing was kind of called. So I think like it will be training all officers to say what's happened.
Well,
so
is 78 even necessary for an officer being knocked out? I mean, I guess.
God damn it! Fuck.
Yeah, that's something to think about.
Oh god damn!
I'll have to talk with Moss on that one.
Yeah, but that's kind of my only concern. But I think just training officers to say immediately, if you're requesting 78's, say shots fired or what's happening, because then
what's reasonable suspicion?
What's reasonable suspicion? When you basically have to investigate.
Don't say basically. Don't say basically when you're explaining. Somebody yelled at me once for saying basically.
He's like let him talk.
I know. I got grilled. I just want to make sure that if that person, listen, I got this real dick fucking. Oh, this officer came in. He's a lieutenant now.
You're not even letting the guy speak, and you're interrupting him.
I'm telling a story. Okay.
And if he has his own way of expressing what RS is, what's the problem?
I'm explaining. Don't say basic. I'm just making sure. Okay. So basically what happened was this officer came in and asked me what RS and PC, and I started the statement with basically, and he said, "You don't know what it is. Don't talk to me until you learn what it is, Cadet." And he didn't. So I just wanted to let you know, Vonnie, be very careful with who you say, basically. Right? His name was Brian Knight, just so you know.
Okay. So he's getting pedantic over a fucking... Anyways.
But essentially... Well, I said essentially. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure. It wasn't essentially that he had a problem with.
All right. So, RS, I'm going to sum it up in my own words. I don't know if you want the word-for-word definition, but it's more than a hunch. You use your kind of experience to see what's going on. So, you, as an officer, you use your experience to see if there is a crime that has, will, or is happening. So, if I'm at a park and I see this person, doing discrete kind of like, I would say pass-offs, then my experience as an officer, I've seen that, you know, that could be a drug deal. A few minutes later, another one comes over, another one comes over. That's RS for me to see there's a drug deal.
Do you believe that a scene in which there is a firearm, that there is held by a suspect, that there is a means to how would you de-escalate a situation? Let's say hypothetically gang territory, right? You witness somebody with a firearm that's just out by his side and he's repairing his vehicle. How many cops would you call down, and what would be your first line of attack to approach that situation?
Am I just, would I be, is this just me patrolling in this?
Yeah, there's
situation?
like, maybe there's a drug call, and yeah, and there's a guy who's holding a gun out repairing his vehicle. How many cops would you call down, and how would you approach that situation?
Well, if I was there and it's a drug bust, the only reason, if I was there, I'd want like 4 units. That's, you know, TRT ops. Like if we're going in for a drug call, I'd want 4. But
let's
if
say
it's just me randomly patrolling, well, I'll tell 4B to break off because you don't need 8.
What if they don't want to listen because they're in a different department?
Then I would raise it with Peters or Moss or
But
Haley.
you're right now, this is your scene and it's happening right in front of you.
I'll tell them to piss off, basically, because if I'm primary on it, they gotta listen.
And how would you tell them on the radio?
Just say, this is my scene. We have 4 units on this.
Like, hey, we're Blaine County. We're down here. They got guns and stuff.
Everyone has a gun in the city.
Good.
Okay. Is this guy an FTO?
Vonnie, are you an FTO?
I'm full officer.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think he does help. You've taken cadets out.
I feel like this guy could get some actual decent cops on the streets.
You could. Vonnie, you have been doing good.
Maxwell asked me yesterday if I wanted to. I'm getting a lot of certs. Just trying to pace myself. I'm trying to get Air 1 because that's definitely needed. In like shift 3 into shift 1, there's. I think
is that your shift 3 into shift 1? I know you're shift 1, but do you handle shift kind of like that?
Sometimes it depends what kind of. If I got anything going on in the day, I'll normally just patrol, get on duty a bit early.
Good, okay.
But then promoted me to operator on TRT as well for that. Was you there for the dock shootout like 4 or 5 days ago?
I don't remember. I don't remember this week. What's your state ID? I'm gonna share a document with you just so you have it.
2807.
And then if you're taking cadets out, you can share it with them as well.
Keep in mind the Air 1 program took a while to take off the ground because BCSO literally had it hostage for somebody that hasn't shown up probably in the last 3 months. So we got a new thing being constructed right now down at the airport. You'll be able to operate some out of. Doors are gonna open and everything.
Oh, really?
All new building. Yep.
Why is my?
Sounds amazing.
Yep.
That's my car right there, but
thanks for sending me that, Peters.
Yeah. That way, I mean, like RS versus PC, like the easiest. The way I remember it is reasonable presumption versus a logical belief.
It's mainly evidences.
Yeah. Support logical belief supported by facts, and it's not facts and evidence, but facts and evidence that a crime has been, will be, or is being committed. Okay. But yeah, I mean that they're like giving that to cadets as well. Like, I mean, that way, I think that gets overlooked a lot. But
yeah, I want to start taking some more people out because I took me out yesterday.
Vonnie, if you have okay, so you feel you're in a gap where there is not a lot of people. Would you mind just checking in once a week with me, just kind of like figure out things you need to see from like
I feel like Nino being in the car
successful, or I guess like things you're struggling with that we could kind of enable,
has been helpful. This
or I guess not enable, but
should have been happening
give you the
more.
Tools necessary to enable your success.
I'll give you some quick feedback. I think more people need to be FTOs to take people out because sometimes I've experienced this myself 2 months ago. I was standing in MRPD for like 5 hours.
Yeah. Okay. Here's what I need from you. Can you start and I do think if you are interested in the FTO thing, talk to Maxwell about it. Also, keep an eye on people and let me know who you think would be good to FTO other people. Just to kind of like move forward. You know, Moss and I are really trying to push better quality inside of the PD. So keep an eye out, let me know, and then maybe we can like work together to kind of like solidify stuff a little bit.
I think sometimes it should be mandatory, if I'm being honest. If there's
taking cadets out.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that. I gotta talk to
because everyone can take anyone out, and you know, if it's you this day, it might not be you the next day. You just choose someone in the meeting. We got cadets in the queue, you know, because yeah, being on the other side of standing inside MRPD, you're not learning anything. You're just standing there reading case laws or whatever, and then you get pulled out for 78 calls. So
that's an interesting point.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
How do you combat though if you have officers that may not be the best? They're great to have on the force, but may not be somebody you want imprinting their bullshit onto others.
As a cadet, you're probably gonna listen to the FTO no matter what, like what's happening. But
so, like, let's say you have someone that does. There's probably those that you want teaching and those that you like having around. You get what I'm saying? And
yeah.
How do you, with your suggestion, how do you prevent let's just say problem officers imprinting themselves onto those cadets?
It's gonna be a difficult way to kind of manage that, but I mean, every officer.
What about a ban list?
You could probably do that. You could probably exempt people because they won't teach it. I just don't want that to be a people intentionally trying to get on that list.
By the way, I'm not saying that this is how it is. It's a legitimate concern, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, it's a fair assumption of, you know, with some officers, but I would definitely say it should be mandatory because I think having some experience out there is better than having no experience out there.
Yeah, makes sense.
And if we have a lot of people who are training, the standards are going to be getting better because, you know, everyone should be at that same standard. Once you get promoted to like 4 officer, you should be at that standard. You know, you should know everything to do your work. But
yeah. Some people are going to struggle. I mean, there's always going to be people that excel. I think ultimately, like, we should be working together for the betterment of the entire department. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like nobody's always going to have all the answers, and I think it's okay not to know. Like, I don't know everything. I mean, how many times do I call you a day to fucking ask questions, or, you know, Moss will ask me something or whatever. But I guess working together for the betterment is the ultimate thing, but I do see what you're saying.
And the last thing I would say is we have hardly any things to combat bikes, and I'm a motor guy, right? And on our SOPs, we can't spike bikes. I don't see why we can't do that at like slow speeds.
That's actually a good point. We don't talk about the motor stuff at all. Okay, who else is it? It's you,
Opal, Pierce, Forte, Dixie. We're kind of the main ones right now that I know. Did I say Pierce? Pierce is lead. Dixie's lead for PC.
I got another job for you. Get with Motor and figure out things you want to see that High Command can fucking try to work for you on. So I mean, that would be a perfect example. But I'll talk to Forte as well. I'll let him be aware of everything, and then we will see what we can do on that. I think the thing with bikes and spiking bikes is
No, ice cream for non-FTOs.
Preservation of life is like our primary focus. Then, it's we are potentially. Yeah.
I think like it's going to be really hard to spike a bike, but I think under 20 miles an hour if we can. I know they got like such quick acceleration, but sometimes if they go in an alley, they're in a dead end. If you get the spikes down, I wouldn't say that's dangerous at that speed. But I'll speak to Motor, see what they think.
Yeah, talk to Motor. I know we were doing London style shit in the past, and then it kind of.
I think that's more dangerous. I think if you run over that bike.
Well, so London, like if we're doing essentially, well, I shouldn't call it London style, but
it's fine. I'm from there.
At what point are we not going to allow our officers to be able to use I think there are circumstances where I don't think it should ever be like, you should never do this, everything's circumstantial. Yeah. And I know we have SOPs, but everything we do is not standard.
Because we're allowed to hit someone off the bike. I'd argue that's more dangerous than spiking.
I would agree.
I think bikes need to be banned from Los Santos County, and I just realized I can do that.
I mean, not many of them have license plates.
Yeah, they can suck my cock.
Oh, that's gonna start war with the motorcycle clubs.
Well, it could be something like,
County, you know what I mean?
If you use it in a crime, it gets immediate like a bajillion VAFs and like $100,000. I hate bikes with a passion. Bikes are a situation that puts cops and criminals at such a weird odd, where it's like you have to do something dastardly. You either have to kill potentially kill the person getting away, or like you end up fucking following for 1,000,000 years.
I think the biggest issue with bikes, to be completely honest, we don't get that many bike chases. The biggest issue is like our bikes against the bodies, the Akumas, all the bikes like that, they go 180. Our bikes go like 135.
Okay, so is that your personal bike, and is it upgraded?
Yeah,
I hate bikes
so much.
I hated it when I was a crim. I hate it when I was a cop. I hate bikes so much.
Do you need
more
for
money?
Crimes? Would your bike be better if you had more money?
I hate them so much.
It depends.
I hate bikes so much.
It's never gonna catch up to that speed.
I see NOC
upgrades. I've already invested.
I hate them.
300k in the bike. There's nothing that I can do.
Yo, Chief. Thank you for the prime sub, man.
I got Air 1. I got Air 1. I got the mechanics to come in and fucking do some work on Air 1. Don't never say never, okay?
It's so awkward.
But yeah, I mean, with the drivers though.
To be honest, though, I don't think there's been a lot of bike related
on the real. Like you guys can't keep up
lately.
Okay.
Honestly, if someone's on a bike, if they have a passenger on the back, then we keep up. If they don't and go in a straight line, we're never catching them, because it's like 40-50 mile an hour difference.